Thank you for joining us as a volunteer. In this video, we're going to tell you how can you help us in our Power by Surface workshop. And first of all, we would like to tell you what is this workshop all about.
Powered by Surface is a school-based capacity building workshop delivered to local secondary schools with limited resources. Over 2 to 3 workshops covering around 6 hours of training, we touch on topics such as leadership, communication, as well as the importance of civic engagement and community service.
咁我就見到咧，我有好多唔同嘅義工啦，一齊參與呢個活動啦。咁會令到我見到好多有咗個凝聚力喺度啦。咁佢哋喺度去做一啲唔同嘅議題啦，去 discuss 一啲嘅唔同嘅問題。咁我覺得好好啦，又可以見到好有包容性啦。香港其實同埋佢好有凝聚力咯。
In this workshop, you will help the student in the age of 12 to 16. They are mostly non-Chinese speaking students, newly arrived students, cross-border students, or from low-income families. Our first workshop is about leadership and communication. We will start off with an icebreaker game, and then we will have a personal spark assessment activity. Volunteers need to help the student to realize their own personal spark. It could be anything from dancing, joking, to running or cooking. Remember, there is no right or wrong or any boundary. Don't worry, students will have a booklet to help them as well. After the personal spark assessment activity, there will be a video and introduction to leadership and communication. And then we will have an activity called Create Your Ideal Leader. Volunteers need to help the student to create a poster of their ideal leader. Don't forget to help them to identify the non-verbal qualities of their ideal leader, such as hairstyle, eye contact, facial expression, and etc. And then we will wrap it up with floor sharing. And again, personal spark assessment and create your ideal leader are the main activities that require volunteers' attention. The second workshop on the next day is about active listening. Similar to our first workshop, we will start off with an icebreaker game, and then there will be a telephone game activity. The telephone game is also known as Chinese whispers. Volunteer will start off with a sentence, then each person whispers the sentence to the next person. The final person in the circle needs to say the sentence out loud. After the telephone game, there will be a video and introduction to active listening. And then we will have a communication game called Mad Hatter's Question. Each team will split into Group A and B. A will be the talker first, and B will be the listeners. Group A and B will then pair up together. Volunteer needs to pass the question card to each listener. They need to ask the question to the talker partner and listen to what they say. Then, the talker and listener can switch position and play a game. Volunteer needs to facilitate a small group sharing at the end of the game. It is important to let the student know the importance of listening to each other. You can ask questions like, are you interested by what your friend said? Which role was more difficult and why? Or, have you ever felt bad when people wouldn't listen to what you were saying? This workshop will be ended with a floor sharing. The third workshop, which is also the last day of Power by Surface workshop, is about community action. First, we will kick off with an icebreaker game, and then our trainer will give an introduction to leadership and community action. After that, we need volunteers' help on the activity called Exploding the Issue. In this activity, we want students to explore a social issue and find the root causes. Each group will have an envelope that includes the social issue they will discuss. There are some words inside the envelope as well, such as suicide, lack of self-esteem, stress, and etc. Volunteers need to help the student to identify which are the root causes and which are the symptoms of the issue. It is important for volunteers to encourage students to tackle the tree diagram step by step. This activity aims to encourage students to think deeply on a social issue. After this tree diagram activity, volunteers need to help students to create an action poster. Students need to pick a social issue they want to tackle, and volunteers need to help brainstorming with students on how to solve the root cause of their issue. Always remember to encourage students to use their creativity and reminds them to bring their personal sparks into the solution. This workshop will be ended with a floor sharing, and this is it for all our workshops. Now, here are some notes to make your volunteer work easier. Remember to create a friendly atmosphere throughout the workshop. Volunteer needs to take an active role in the group activities. Keep talking with students and encourage them to involve. It is also important to stay flexible with unexpected situations. When teenagers become too excited, you need to make them calm down and focus in the workshop. It would also be nice to use positive reinforcement rather than criticism or comparison. Here are some reminders before you come to the workshop. First, please remember to arrive on time for the briefing before each workshop. You also need to make sure to be familiar with all the session plan of the day. And throughout the workshop, volunteer needs to manage all the material, such as students' booklet and activity sheets. Also, please don't forget to treat everyone with respect and patience. And if you encounter any problem or accidents, please do not hesitate to talk to the staff of Kids for Kids or the school staff. We look forward to see you on the day of the workshop, and we hope you enjoyed it and have lots of fun.